Very good evening, everyone. Once again, I welcome all of you for the day two session of our workshop, Synopsis and Thesis Writing. Ma'am is already with us. I request Dr. Shalini ma'am to kindly please take over the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So let me start with it. Just give me a minute. Um, let's have a recap of what we did yesterday first. Any any questions for yesterday's session? किसी को कोई query है? Okay. So let's have a recap of what we did yesterday first. I hope you can see my screen. Is my screen visible to all? Okay. Okay. So yesterday we talked about how to write the synopsis and what are the different parts of synopsis. We talked about the review of literature. What is the first step to understand? What is the first step to write the synopsis? The first step to write the synopsis is to understand the gap. To understand the gap in a particular area, right? Particular area. So once we have understood the gap in a particular area, we do the review of literature, right? Review of literature we do to understand what all work has been, to understand what all work has been done in the past. So we do the review of literature. So to get the papers on the relevant area, we can use Google Scholar. This is a free website, scopus.com. This is a paid website. Again, Web of Science. This is again a paid website. Right. So with the help of this three main websites, you can get the papers in your relevant area. And from there, you can have a review of literature, right? And see what all are the different models that is being used by the people in the previous papers. On the basis of that, so you design your model or and your objectives. So on the basis of this, we design our model and our objectives, right? So after this, we write the hypothesis, then we write the introduction, then we write the research methodology. I told you this thing. So in a synopsis, when we write a synopsis, so the research methodology part is very small. It is not very enlarged or enhanced. Why? Because we are just telling what are the different softwares that we are going to use, what are the tools and techniques we are going to use, what will be our sample size, what will be the area of the study. So these are some things that we need to mention in the research methodology and not we just give an overview over here. And last may, of course, the references and appendix if we have something to tell them, right? So this is how we design our synopsis. Okay, one more thing, yahan pe research gap is also there, and research gap is there, and need of the study, yes, of course. Once you have designed the objective, so hypothesis is also there, and the need of the study, right? Need of the study. So these are the different segments of a synopsis, right? So let's move to today's topic, and that is a thesis writing. So let's see how do we write a thesis, and how do we write our thesis, how do we compile our thesis, right? So let me start with this now. Okay, so let me take you to the first of all, let me take you to a synopsis of one of my students. So let's say this is the synopsis of my student. We have already seen this. So let me show you one thing. Okay, now what you will be do in your thesis and how you will start with your thesis. So now you see, this is one of the synopsis of my student, and it has 4 objectives, right? So we have 4 objectives. Now, how do we start writing for the thesis now? Like now the next step is the writing the thesis. So what is the next step that we have to do? So we go with the objectives. We start looking at our objectives. So there are 4 objectives, right? And we can see from here, this is the first, this is the model. This is our model for the first objective. This is the model for our second objective. This is the third model, and this is the fourth model. So what we will be doing, the first important task is we will design the questionnaire. Okay, so we design the questionnaire. This is the first important step. Once we have already decided the objectives and we have finalized our synopsis, so the next important thing is to start with your thesis. So when we are going to start with a thesis, so what is the first important thing is to design the questionnaire based on our objectives, based on our model. So yesterday we also talked about this questionnaire setting. Let me talk a little bit in this lecture as well about the how do we design the questionnaire. Let me tell you again once, just let me show you this. So these are the objectives, and this is my first model. So model, it has certain variables. This is a financial factor, social factors, personal factor, and motivation. This is what are the factors that impacts or that motivates people to invest into impact investing, right? And these are the 3 factors or the variables. So we can say these are the variables, right? So while designing the questionnaire, so what we will do is we will write the statements. We will write the statements with respect to financial factors. We will write the statement with respect to social factors, personal factor, and motivational factors, right? So let me take you to the thesis now of Prerna itself. This is not the thesis. Ek minute. This is the thesis of Prerna, right? So yesterday also I told you, look at this. So you can see from here, the questionnaire is divided again into 2 parts. One is the basic demographic profile of the respondent, and second is related to the variables, right? So in the first, you can see according to this first model, so what are the different variables? Financial factors, social factor, personal and motivational factors, right? So one part of the questionnaire will be with respect to these variables. So you can see from here, so this first part, all these statements, so we have to write the statement like this: strongly on a 5-point scale, strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree, right? So what we have done is we have designed this questionnaire, right? This is based on the first objective. This questionnaire questions is based on the first objective. Just have a look at this. This we have given one section of it, that is the section 4. This section 4 consists of the variables statements of first objective of the thesis. So second point, so let's say this is another section of the questionnaire. This will be leading to the second objective of ours, right? So second objective, what is the second objective? So these are the first objective and these are the variables. So we have put these variables questions, right, into the section 4. Now this is your section, this is your model 2. So these are the variables and the questions related to these variables will be there in section another section, that is a section 5, right? So next again we will continue like this and it will go on like this, right? So what I'm trying to tell you here is, once you have compiled your synopsis, so you have to start writing for your thesis. So what is the first step that you have to write for your thesis is, first you have to design a questionnaire and send it to the people, to the respondents, right? So how do we design the questionnaire? Please remember one thing, whatever your objective is there, so do make one questionnaire for all the objectives. Please, this is very, very important. Please understand, make one questionnaire for all the objectives. Do not make different questionnaires for all the for different objectives. Just make one questionnaire for all the objectives that you have in your thesis, because it is very, very difficult to collect the data all the time, a number of times. So what you have to do is you have to look at your objectives. So you can see from here. So let's say these are the 4 objectives, right? And you need to collect data for all the 4 objectives. So what you have to do is, you will be collecting the data. You will be collecting the data by making a questionnaire once only, right? So you do not need to design it again and again. So you need to make one questionnaire. And I have shown you this, like this questionnaire. I can even share this with you. Ye thesis bhi I can share this with you. So you can see all the 4 questions or the 4 objectives is covering into this questionnaire. So this is the most important thing, that your questionnaire has to be perfect. Otherwise, it will be very, very difficult for you to get the data, collect the data. आप मतलब आप तो data collection में ही रह जाएंगे हम, है ना? So it is very important to design a proper questionnaire. And for this, you have to be very clear. So what is your objective? This also has to be made after a clear thoughts in your mind. Do not make your objective just like that. You should have, yesterday also I told you this thing, whatever variables you are taking, let me repeat this again, whatever variables you are taking, like this is a financial factor, social, personal and motivational, whatever factors or the variables you are taking, it should have a scales, it should have a statements that is already being tested by some people earlier, right? So this is very, very important. And all these statements that we have taken, we have not designed these statements. Please remember that we have not designed these statements of our own. We have taken the statements that has already been designed by some people earlier, and we have mentioned this in our research methodology part. Ki like you just have a look, financial factor statements we have taken from this person, right? So this is the most important thing when you are designing a questionnaire. Is it clear to everyone? Please raise your hands if it is clear to everyone. Any question, any doubt? Any question, any doubt?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Like, ma'am, in case if suppose the objectives are not related to each other in case of a thesis, then so, ma'am,
Not related to each other, I'm not able to understand.
if
इसमें भी
suppose
just हाँ बोलो बोलो.
मैम जैसे यहाँ पे जो क्वेश्चंस है, it is related to the motivation of the investors, isn't it, ma'am? Now suppose the objective is such that in place of investors, suppose I am taking along with investors, I am taking investment agents also. then in that case the questionnaire will be different, isn't it, ma'am?
आप उसका सेगमेंट बना सकते हो मैम. आप जैसे क्वेश्चनर एक ही रहेगा, क्वेश्चनर विल बी वन, मॉडल कैन बी डिफरेंट. अब आप ये देखो लाइक परसीव बिहेवियर, इंटेंशन टू डू इम्पैक्ट इन्वेस्टिंग, मतलब ये जो थर्ड क्वेश्चन था दैट वाज एंटायरली डिफरेंट. दिस वी हैव यूज्ड द कॉन्जॉइंट एनालिसिस. तो मॉडल हमने यहाँ पर भी डिफरेंट बनाया. मॉडल्स तो हर ऑब्जेक्टिव के डिफरेंट है, बट क्वेश्चनर एक होगा.
ओके,
आर यू गेटिंग मी?
या मैम.
आप हाँ
जैसे जैसे मैम, suppose I want to ask the questions related to some suppose financial factors and social factors to the investors, while there are certain variables which is not very prominent to the investors, while it is very much prominent to the investment advisors or financial advisors. In that case, do I need to make two questionnaire or one questionnaire?
No, questionnaire has to be one. It will be in a different section. Like you just have a look at this. Like this is section 5, this is section 4. So यहाँ पर आप differentiate कर सकते हो ना. Section 4 आप मॉडल के साथ डिफरेंशिएट कर सकते हो ना मैम. लाइक आपने ये एक मॉडल बनाया तो इसके क्वेश्चंस हो गए सेक्शन 4 में. फिर उसके बाद आपने नेक्स्ट मॉडल बनाया, उसके क्वेश्चंस हो गए यहाँ पर. सो यू आर डिफरेंशिएटिंग ना with two things.
Got it, ma'am. Got it. Thank you.
But questionnaire has to be the one.
Questionnaire has to be the same.
One. Yes.
Different sections for the different type of
objective
respondents, isn't it, ma'am?
अच्छा, yes. अच्छा, नहीं, अच्छा, you have a different respondents.
Yeah, respondents are different.
नहीं, फिर you have to make a two questionnaires, yes. But why do you want to take it for two people, two segments of population?
Like suppose in my case, what happened that I am doing a research on the investors as well as I am doing a research on the investment advisors, financial advisors.
So हाँ, तो आपकी अच्छा, आपका जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है वही टू पार्ट्स में डिवाइडेड है. नो देन यू हैव टू मेक टू क्वेश्चन. नो आपका सेगमेंट ही अलग हो गया. देन यू हैव टू मेक द टू क्वेश्चंस.
आई हैव टू मेक द टू क्वेश्चन.
Yes, you have to.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So try to make, if you have a for what I would like to suggest you is try to make the same respondent throughout India. If you are taking even whatever area you are taking, try to have a same respondent. This is what makes more sense, right? So try to have a same kind of respondents, not the different segments of the respondents, right? Anyways, so this is to design the questionnaire, right? So let's see how do we start writing it. Once you have to send the questionnaire, right? Now you have to send, once you have designed the questionnaire, you have to send the questionnaires. You can send it through Google form, right? You can send it through email. You can send it face to face. You can like take the interviews as well, है ना? And interviews कर सकते हैं, focus interview कर सकते हैं, personal interviews you can do, right? So these are the different ways in which you can send the questionnaire to your respondents. Once you have received your questionnaire responses, so the next important things is to start writing the papers, right? To start, once you have received the question responses, you start writing your papers. Papers with respect to different objective, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is, like, let's say I have got the responses. I have got the responses for all these statements, for all these questionnaire, for all these statements of this questionnaire. So what I will start doing is, I will go with one by one objective of my questionnaire. So what I will do is, like, you know, how do you write it now? You have to move objective by objective. So you take first objective of your, then second, and then third and fourth. So you take your first objective, right? And then start writing about it. First of all, you have to write about your first objective. You know, whatever objectives that you have, so you can make as much as papers with the number of the objectives. If you have, let's say, 4 objectives, so you can write 4 papers onto it. If you have 5 objectives, you can write 5 papers. If you have 6, so whatever the number is, so you can write that much of the papers. So first, once you have got your questionnaire made and received the responses from the respondent, so you start writing your papers, right? So first objective. So let me start telling you how do we write the paper, what are the different segments of the paper, right? Once you have, once you have completed all your objectives, once you have completed the writing of all your objectives papers, right? मतलब इससे हमारे पास papers आएंगे जो हम the objectives जो हमारे हैं उनके basis पे we are going to write paper, right? So in this case we have 4 objectives, so we are going to write 4 papers. So once your 4 papers are complete, right, so it is very easy for you to compile your thesis. So what is the most important thing when you are writing your thesis is to write the papers, to write the number of papers with respect to your objective. If your objectives are 5, so write 5 papers. If your objectives are 3, write 3 papers. And then the only thing is you have to compile in the end. So let me tell you what are the different segments. How do we write a paper, right? How do we write a quantitative paper? So I will go what are the different segments of the paper. We will be talking about the quantitative paper, right? In which we collect the data from primary data study, right? So how do we write a quantitative paper and what are its different segments? So what is the first thing is the introduction part. I'll tell you what all will be included into the introduction. So what is the first part that you have to write in a paper? First is the introduction. Introduction mein, how do we start with the introduction? So let's say the topic is on impact investing. So impact investing ke bare mein you will be writing what exactly it is and what is the status in the world of impact investing, status in our own country, let's say India, right? And what are the benefits of it, right? And why do we go for impact investing, right? This is what will come in your introduction part. What is the other things that will come in your introduction part? So the next main important thing is the research gap. Research gap means why you have taken this topic. What is the need? How this paper is different from previous studies. So this is what you are going to write over here. So this is very, very important. Please do write the research gap. Research gap, how this paper is different from the previous study, right? And yahan par hi you will be writing the objective of the study. Nowadays, when you are writing a paper, right? So I'm telling you the different segments. So what we are doing right now, we are talking about the different segments of a paper, of a research paper. What are the different segments? The first segment is to write about the introduction. So what all will come into the introduction section? So this is what I'm telling you, right? So introduction section mein, let's say it's an impact investing. So the general things about this impact investing. Okay, one more thing I would like to tell you here is, even you can, it is not mandatory that you have to get this data from the different research papers. You can even use the websites. Like you can always go to the Google. यहाँ पर भी even you can type impact investing, right? So impact investing. Um, so you can talk about the impact investing status from here as well, right? And just give the in-text citation for this. Is it clear? सबको समझ में आ रहा है? Please raise your hands if you are able to understand all this. Others also please respond. I can see only few hands that has been raised. I want others also to respond, please. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you
Hanji.
explain once more the index impact thing?
Hanji.
In introduction, you said no that you can go for indexing. That I am unable to understand that part from Google.
I'm saying from the Google also you can get the topic. Matlab, if you want like impact investing in India, right? So if you want to get some data, like you can see from here, impact investing is a growing trend in India. Approximately 50 active impact investors invested more than this between this. Right. So if you need some information about this topic, a particular topic, so it is not mandatory that you have to get this, all the information, even about the introduction from the research papers. So you can write, you can even extract some of the good information from the google.com say you can extract the information and you can put this in your paper as well. यहाँ पर in-text citations. What is in-text citation is like where all you have got this. Let's say you have written this information, right? So let's say I have taken this information and put this into my paper. Of course, by removing the flag, I have to do this. So let's say I have removed the flag and have written this statement in my introduction part, right? So what I'm trying to tell you here is in-text citation. In-text citation means from where I have taken this. I hope you know all these things. पता है सभी को? Should I tell you what is in-text citation and what is reference and how do we write this? Do you want me to tell you all?
Yes, ma'am. Can you just cover this also?
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
So there is a word that is called as in-text citation. Let me take you to this paper of mine. I'm just trying to tell you. This is called as in-text citation. In-text citation means who all has given this line. Let's say I have written some line. Impact investing is a purpose-driven or responsible investment made into social enterprise. Some. So who has given this? So I have quoted this in the bracket. So this person has given these lines, right? So this is called as the in-text citation. And with respect to this in-text citation, there will be a reference that will be at the end. You can see from here, let me take you to this BUGG. This is one place, this is another place. Look at this. This is the reference part. Look at this. This is my references. So you have to give this in the reference as well. So this is the reference and this is your in-text citation. So this is what we mean. Matlab, in-text citations means from where we have taken this.
Ma'am.
Hanji.
Ma'am,
Yes.
instead of writing that in-text citation, no, sometimes their numbers are given, and
That is a different way of referencing. That's it. Nothing more. Like
references is given. So which is the right
yes.
method?
ऐसे
Whether write to name of that author and year or only number?
नहीं यहाँ पर क्या होता है कि like you can write this as one. This is another way of in-text citation. So वही बोल रही ना, ये देखो ना, I have given also. मैं लिखा है ना यहाँ पे. Look at this. ये like one over here है ना. And in the reference, what you will find is here. यहाँ पर you will find here
Yes,
as brackets में one. and यहाँ पर सारा everything will be given, the name and all that. मतलब reference में it will be given, but in-text citation will be like this, number. Some of the styles they prefer, some of the journals they want only the numbers. Let's say यहाँ पर आपने number 2 डाल दिया, this is number 2. So if you go to a reference, नीचे होता है reference बिल्कुल, तो यहाँ पर who has said this? So this is reference 1 and this is reference 2 like this. Can you see here? Or what you can do is, let me show you this, 1 minute. What I'm trying to tell you here is, instead of writing the 2 names over here, so let me delete it here. So what I will do is 1, 2, this. So here it will be 1, 2, and when you go to a reference down, तो वहां पर भी you will find one number for the one and second number for that bug जो भी person था. Is that clear?
Excuse me, ma'am. The reference what you've taken from Google just now, what you have put, what reference you will put over there in that case?
Achha, okay,
How you will write
yes.
that?
Okay, I will tell you, right. Let me tell you. Okay, so you have to take it from the website. This is another way of writing for this. So we have to see over here. So this is the heading. So you write down this heading on a different page. Let's say I have written this over here. This is the name. Next, what you will be writing, ये कब लिखा गया 2024 में, कौन सी वेबसाइट से लिए गए, click on to this website and click over here. यहाँ पर आप, I will tell you, 1 minute रुको, 2024 तो मैं लिख रही हूँ अभी, this is not correct, अभी होगा. Accessed on, let's say, what is the date today? 10th of December 2024 from, this is the website, है ना? So what we have done is, here we have written, this is not complete, let me just complete this. This is how you will write. And one more thing, the name, what will be the name? So let's understand कि नीचे तो नहीं name किसी ने लिखा है, ये particular जो article है, somebody has written it, or, एक minute, let me see to this. No, there is, information, you can see information resources, Mackenzie. So you can write the name of this person, Mackenzie, over here, यहाँ पे starting में. This is Mackenzie 2024, right? Or if it would not have been there, this Mackenzie would have not been there. So what you would have written, you would have written report York, right? So if Mackenzie would not have been there, so what would you have been written? Mac Yak, whatever it is. Let me check this again. Report Yak, right? So it will be report Yak, either of the two. Is it clear? And or in-text citation में आप क्या लिखते हैं यहाँ पर? In-text citation, if you have to write either Mackenzie 2024 like this, and reference में क्या आता है आपका? Like this. आप ना ये सब चीजें ना, let me tell you one thing, there is a APA style. अगर if you write over here APA reference style, you write this in the Google, that is APA reference style, and click onto this. So it will take you to a, this is American Psychological Association. They have given different reference styles. Look at this. तो यहाँ पर ना, you will find, let me, references example. Okay, click, just have a look at this. Like, how do we write about the books? If you have to write, if you have to give the reference of the books in your paper, so how do you write it? If you click onto this, it will come, right? So journal article, how do we write this? Just have a look at this. यहाँ पर नीचे they have given you an example onto this. Can you see to this? This is an example. Please have a look at this. The name, second name, first name, dot, second name like this. Okay, this is APA style, right? DOI as well of the particular this. This is volume number, issue number, page number. So this is how you write. So this is one of the most important site. यहाँ पर आपको सारे मतलब APA के reference styles for citing the book. How do you cite the book? Look at this. So this is the way you can cite your book. So you can get from this side. If you type here APA style, APA reference style, right? So you get for this APA. अच्छा, let me tell you one more thing. जब आप Google Scholar में, if you go to a Google Scholar, so let me open this for you and let me write a topic that is called as an impact investing, right? You know, whenever you have to find out a topic, so refer this site as well, because it is very easy to use the reference. यहाँ पर ना, let me increase the font size. Let's say I have put impact investing. I want to see the previous papers, right? So this is the first paper. So if you want to cite this paper, go to cite over here, and it has different site. This is MLA type of style, APA style, Chicago style, Harvard or Vancouver. So it has different styles. Every style, ये Google Scholar में आपको facility होती है. So whenever you need to the different styles, you can use this website as well, right? So यहाँ से भी you can copy this and you can put, like, it's become very easy to put it here like this. So this is your reference and इसका in-text citation कैसे डलता है आपका? So अगर यहाँ पर 2 से ज्यादा authors हैं तो क्या डलेगा? In-text citation कैसे डलेगा इसका? Barber et al. 2021. So it is like this. So these are very small things that you should know. And Google Scholar is one site. If you, let's say you have some papers with you and you want to see, you can even put some papers here. And if you want the references, कि कोई एक particular style में reference को डालना है, तो यहाँ पे you can put the name of the paper and it will give you different reference style. यहाँ से भी आप easily copy कर सकते हो और you can put this in your paper. Is it clear? Please raise your hands if it is clear to all.
Yes, ma'am.
I think this was required. I think these things are not being taught to you when you are having a coursework and all that. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, anyways.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So let's move to the different segment now. So this is about the referencing style, right? Okay, so we were talking about the introduction part, right? So what I was telling you was here, when we talk about the introduction part, so let's say the topic is on impact investing. So you can write about what is the status of impact investing, status in India, world, what are the benefits of it, why do we go for impact investing, and write the in-text citation. Next important thing is the research gap. So how your paper is different from the previously written papers, and objective of the study. So let me show you यहाँ पर एक पेपर में, so to get a more clear view, look at this. This is my introduction part. This is one of my papers, right? Impact investing का ही है. So just have a look at this. Introduction में, end में, this is a student paper. So in the end, she has written about the objective of the present study, to analyze each impact investor importance value assigned to each level of pre-opted element. ये पेपर conjoint पे था, तो ये उस तरह से she has made the objective, right? So the objective of the study comes into the end, and in the last you talk about like this. I want all of you to read this, please. Chapter wise scheme, right?
So, ma'am, in the introduction itself, the research gap as well as the objective is written, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes. आजकल ऐसे ही होता है. This is the trend that we have to write it over here only.
हेलो मैम,
हाँ जी.
आपने अभी तक रिसर्च पेपर से कैसे इंफॉर्मेशन लेने वो दिखाया, फिर वेबसाइट से अगर हमको लेनी वो दिखाया, कैन यू एक्सप्लेन हाउ टू एक्सट्रैक्ट द इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द ब्लॉग, क्योंकि अभी ब्लॉग पे भी काफी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन हम लेते हैं अपने रिसर्च पेपर के लिए। तो
किससे
ब्लॉग
लेते हैं?
ब्लॉग BLOG ब्लॉग में
वो तो आप यहाँ से ले लीजिए ना, मतलब यहाँ पे जो भी आप टॉपिक डालेंगे सेम
हाँ।
वे है, इट इज द सेम वे एज यू एक्सट्रैक्ट, मतलब इट इज द सेम थिंग एज एक्सट्रैक्टिंग एनीथिंग फ्रॉम अ वेबसाइट। जो भी आप वेबसाइट से ले रहे हो वैसे ही ब्लॉग से ले सकते हो आप, सेम थिंग।
ओके, लेकिन फिर कुछ अलग वेबसाइट होते हैं क्या ब्लॉग की, क्या इसी में हम लोगों को गूगल
आपको
में ही
किसी-
हमने अगर डाला?
हाँ, गूगल के ही ऊपर आपने टॉपिक डालना होता है। अगर उस पे बाय चांस आपको ब्लॉग मिल जाता है, सो यू कैन टेक द इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम देयर। लिखना तो आपको उसी अपनी लैंग्वेज में है ना, बिकॉज यू हैव टू रिमूव द फ्लैग फ्रॉम दैट। सो इफ यू
Okay.
हैव टू, yes, so it's the same way. Extracting the information from any website is the same, even from the blog. बस हो सकता है वहां पे उस ऑथर का नाम आ जाए, जैसे यहाँ पे तो मैकेंजी लिखा है हमने या फिर वेबसाइट का नाम लिखा था, तो वहां पर हो सकता है डायरेक्टली उस पर्सन का नाम आ जाए, क्योंकि ब्लॉग एक पर्सन लिखता है ना, बस दैट्स इट, दैट इज ओनली डिफरेंस।
Okay, thank you.
Actually, one thing, ma'am, can we quote the
अच्छा,
same statement from the paper, from other paper? And
no, you have to change it.
I have to change it and then in text citation will be written, isn't
हाँ
it?
हाँ हाँ,
Okay.
yes, in text citation, yes. Right, and this is how you write the introduction part. I hope this part is clear to all. Introduction part. Okay. अच्छा, मैं एक चीज और आपको बताना चाहूंगी. Whenever you are writing a paper, right? तो try to write the latest in-text citation. Try to, if you want your paper to be published in some very good journal, so try to have the in-text citations from good papers as well. Like try to extract the information from ABDC listed journals. Like if we are from management, the ABDC listed journals, Scopus, right, Q1, SCI, ये सब चीजें, that is important, right? तो आप SCI journals भी देख सकते हो. Let me show you this one. Like जैसे if you go to Journal of Sustainable Finance and Investment, this is a Q1 journal, right? So this is a very good journal. Let's say I want to extract the papers from this journal on the topic impact investing, right? So let me click over here and यहाँ पर ना browse. Can you see this option? What I'm trying to tell you, try to extract when you are like जब आप इंट्रोडक्शन लिख रहे हो, रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर लिख रहे हो, तो ऐसे जर्नल्स के पेपर्स को निकालो जो कि गुड जर्नल्स हैं. गुड जर्नल्स मींस Q1 हो, SCI हो, ABDC लिस्टेड हो. तो लुक एट दिस, यहाँ पर टॉपिक डालो, यहाँ पर लेट्स से इम्पैक्ट इन्वेस्टिंग. इफ आई पुट, it is searching. Okay, so you can see from here 10 papers. We have got the 10 papers. नहीं, काफी पेपर्स हैं इम्पैक्ट इन्वेस्टिंग पे. तो अगर आप ये वाले पेपर्स को कोट करोगे, मींस आप इन-टेक्स्ट साइटेशन और रेफरेंसेस पुट करोगे इन पेपर्स के, बिकॉज दिस जर्नल इज गुड. So what I'm trying to tell you, this is a journal from Taylor and Francis, and this is a journal. आपने कहाँ पे सर्च किया? Journal of Sustainable Finance and Investment. तो अगर हम we are going to quote these papers in our paper, right? So it will give more weightage to our paper. So it is always better you cite these papers whenever you are writing the introduction. Cite these papers. This is one example, and try to have like let's say this is 2024 going on. So 2020 till 2024 के पेपर्स को साइट करो, राइट? पुराने papers भी cite कर सकते हो, but the number should be limited and maximum paper should be of your this much of years. ये वाले years से आपके ज़्यादा papers होने चाहिए. Please understand, right? So you should cite the papers from this to this years maximum. So let's move to the next part, and that is called as the review of literature. So the next important aspect is the review of literature. Okay, so what do we understand? So यहाँ पर how do we write the review of literature and hypothesis development? This is again a very very important part. यहाँ पर hypothesis development. How do we write it? Now let's say this is our paper, impact investing. ये तो conjoint पे है. Let me take you to this paper of mine. Let's say we are writing on this model. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे what are the variables? So financial factors आप देख सकते हो, social factors, personal and motivational factors. So how do we start writing? एक तो ना theory. Which theory is important? Please understand which theory is important or correlate to our topic. So this is important. You have to write about this. Next is hypothesis. You will be defining, let's say, financial factors. You write a paragraph about this. Then the social factors. You write a paragraph about it. Then is the what is that? Personal factor and motivational. Personal factor and motivational factor. You write a paragraph about it. Let me see if I can show you this, what I'm trying to say. Okay, there is one paper of mine as well that got published. Maybe I can show you. 1 minute, just give me a minute. What I'm trying to tell you is like this. This is a good paper. ये मैं आपको इस वाले पेपर से अब बताती हूँ. How do we write this? इसमें बहुत अच्छे से दिया हुआ है actually. Let me show you this. Okay, this paper of mine got published already. So let's say this is my paper. इसमें example मेरे को easy होगा आपको देना because I have a very detailed review of literature and all that with respect to this. Let me close down the other sites. Okay, now you can see here, how do we write? This is, let's say this is a model. So how do we write the review of literature for this now? Right, so these are the variables over here. Can you see? Sense of scarcity, sense of uncertainty, social media addiction, religious value, panic buying behavior post-pandemic. So how do we write the review of literature for it? So let me take you to the review of literature part of this. Look at this. Okay, so you have to talk about first the variables. Look at this. So you can see one of my variable is sense of scarcity. आप देख सकते हो इसमें. You can see from here. So this is my one variable that is called as a sense of scarcity. So what I have done in review of literature, so I have written a paragraph about it. Can you see to this? ये बड़ा paragraph. And you will see this paper got published last year only. So no, this year only. तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो 2021, 22, 2019, 17 पुराने भी हैं in text citation, but we try to have a latest one. Next is another variable that is sense of scarcity. This is another variable. कहाँ है sense of scarcity? Oh, sense of scarcity. 1 minute. What is the sense of uncertainty? Sorry. So sense of uncertainty. This is my another variable. So what I have done is I have written one paragraph about it. This is what actually I am trying to tell you is how to write a very good paper, right? So if you go so much of in-depth into your paper, right? So it will definitely get published in a good journal. So you should make one proper model for your paper. And this, if you're going to write your paper this way, right, so it will definitely get published in good journal. So this is another variable, so on, like this. Jitne bhi variables hain, I have defined these variables first. Right, and I have made one table as well. You can make this table. Sense of scarcity was my first variable, the definition of it, and in-text citation. So who all has talked about this sense of scarcity? So this is the in-text citation, and you'll find the references as well for these in-text citation. Right. So now, यहाँ से मेरा start हो गया hypothesis. Just have a look at this. Now we have different hypotheses. So यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो sense of scarcity and panic buying behavior. So let's go to the model. This is sense of scarcity and this is panic buying behavior. Can you see to this model of here? Everybody is there? Is everybody there? Please raise your hands if you are able to understand. सबको समझ में आ रहा है? Okay. Okay. So यहाँ पे मेरा hypothesis development start हो गया. So what you have to write is, you have to talk about these two variables, sense of scarcity and panic buying behavior, how they are related. So you have to see the papers. You have to see the papers that has both the elements. So what you will be doing is, you copy this, you go to Google Scholar. You know, Google Scholar is a very good website. So you go to Google Scholar and you type over here both the variables, right? So यहाँ से ही हटा देते हैं, and ये भी sense of scarcity, ये भी हटा दो, and then enter, right? So now you will see you have got many papers that is having these two keywords, that is sense of scarcity and panic buying behavior. So यहाँ से आपको इन पेपर्स के थ्रू आपको इसका यहाँ पे रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर लिखना है, हाइपोथेसिस. सो फिर आपने यहाँ पे प्रपोज करना है. हेंस इट इज प्रपोज दैट सेंस ऑफ स्कैरसिटी हैज अ पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट ऑन पैनिक बाइंग बिहेवियर, right? So whenever we write the hypothesis, we write only the positive one, not the negative one. We know that there are two hypotheses, one is positive and one is not positive. So when we write nowadays, when we write a research paper, we always write a positive hypothesis and not a negative one. So we go like this for every. यहाँ पे you can see there are so many hypotheses. Can you see? This is hypothesis 1, this is hypothesis 2, this is hypothesis 3, 4, 5, and so on. And gender is a moderator, right? So gender is a moderator. So you have to write about each and everything. So यहाँ पर next our hypothesis 2, 3, 4, 5, and all that. And for moderation also you have to write. Social media addiction moderates the association. I think this diagram, yeah, ये रहा. Social media addiction, ये भी एक moderator का काम कर रहा है. This is also working as a moderator. So we have to write about the moderator. So and then once we have done with this, so we put the diagram over here or the model, right? So this is how we write the review of literature part. Any questions, any doubts till now? This is a very very elaborate way of writing this because मैंने आपको बहुत in depth जाके बताई ये चीजें. So this is a very in depth into it and to write a good paper. So is this point clear? Any questions till now? So this is the whole review of literature. Is it clear to all?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I would request you to kindly send this research paper to us so that we can have a sample of it.
Sure, sure. I'll do that. No issues. मैं अभी
Thank you.
भोलानाथ sir को I'll send and he will send it to all of you, right?
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, thank you.
Sure, I'll do
Ma'am, I
that.
had one more question, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, when we are doing literature review, we are supposed to write it in ascending order or descending order, ma'am, the year
ये
of the
ऐसा कुछ
research
नहीं
paper.
है. नहीं, it's not like this. वो आप जब थीसिस लिखते हो, थीसिस में देन यू हैव टू सी, बट नॉट हियर। ये तो आप कहीं से भी ले सकते हो, इट इज नॉट मैंडेटरी। सो यू कैन सी फ्रॉम हियर इन माय even review of literature, it is not mandatory, it is not there. Look at this, any number, this is 2018, 2015, 20. No,
ओके मैम, दिस इज इंटेक्स साइटेशन, पर जब लिटरेचर रिव्यू लिखते हैं उस टाइम पे ऐसा है कि 2020 फिर
थीसिस और
2021।
सिनॉप्सिस की बात, अगर आप थीसिस और सिनॉप्सिस की बात कर रहे हैं तो यस, क्योंकि आप
ओके
अगर उसमें लिखते हैं तो आप डेफिनेटली उसमें ऐसे ही लिखते हैं जब आप उधर रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर डालते हो।
ओके, ठीक है, थैंक यू मैम।
एनीथिंग एल्स, एनीवन एल्स?
अगर ऐसे दो वेरिएबल्स को स्टडी कर रहे हैं जिनका रिलेशन अभी तक चेक नहीं हुआ, तो उसके हाइपोथेसिस कैसे डेवलप करेंगे?
मैम ये तो मॉडल पे डिपेंड करेगा ना, यही इट इज हैविंग अ पॉजिटिव रिलेशनशिप लाइक दिस, यही बोलोगे ना
नहीं,
आप, जैसे हाँ
जैसे अब हमें यही नहीं पता इसका इम्पैक्ट पॉजिटिव पड़ेगा या नेगेटिव, सपोर्टिव
नहीं आप
लिटरेचर है नहीं।
नहीं आप लिखोगे पॉजिटिव,
हाँ जी,
हाइपोथेसिस तो दोनों ही होते हैं एप्लीकेबल, नहीं हाइपोथेसिस का व्हेन यू आर डिफाइनिंग अ हाइपोथेसिस, हाइपोथेसिस हैज टू बी बोथ, इट इज
ठीक है।
नॉट यस, एक होते हैं H0 hypothesis, that is
हाँ जी,
there is a significant impact, sorry
हाँ
there is
जी,
no significant impact, right? और एक होते हैं H1, that is a significant impact, there is a ये होता तो दो ही है, either the results will be this or this result negative भी, जैसे let me show you the results for this, let me ये जो मेरा ये पेपर है, इसमें नेगेटिव भी है, लेट मी शो यू, इट इज नॉट मतलब वो तो मतलब इट इज नॉट मैंडेट, बस आपको मैं ये कहने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ, हाइपोथेसिस तो दोनों ही होते हैं। इसमें था आई थिंक, एक मिनट लेट मी चेक, इसमें कुछ हाइपोथेसिस प्रूव नहीं हुए थे ना, मतलब व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू हियर इज इट इज नॉट मैंडेटरी कि आपका हर हाइपोथेसिस यस ही प्रूव होगा, सिग्निफिकेंट ही प्रूव होगा, क्योंकि उसका ऑपोजिट तो नॉट सिग्निफिकेंट तो है ही है ना। लेकिन जब आप डिफाइन करते हो, इसको यहां पर लिखते हो तो आप पॉजिटिव लिखते हो, दूसरा तो अपने आप से रोल प्ले कर ही रहा है। आर यू गेटिंग मी?
ओके मैम, ओके
हाँ ये तो है ही है, ये तो चलेगा ही चलेगा, जरूरी तो
जी,
नहीं है कि आपने जो भी रिलेशनशिप आप देख रहे हो, जैसे आप ये वाला मॉडल ही ले लो, जरूरी तो नहीं है इसका रिलेशनशिप इसके साथ पॉजिटिव ही आएगा, ये जो आपका हाइपोथेसिस है ट्रू होगा, फॉल्स भी तो हो सकता है कि सेंस ऑफ स्कैरिसिटी, आपका जो सैंपल साइज आया है, जो आपके रिस्पोंडेंट्स ने आपको रिस्पॉन्सेज दिए हैं, वो जरूरी थोड़ा ना है कि सेंस ऑफ स्कैरिसिटी होती है तो पैनिक बाइंग बिहेवियर होता है, इट इज नॉट मैंडेटरी, नो भी तो हो सकता है आंसर ना, लेकिन आप लिखते ऐसे हो बस,
ओके मैम,
right? So this is now we have covered till the review of literature part, right? So this is our
Actually,
review.
ma'am,
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
ma'am, references लिखते समय while writing the references, should we have to write it as per alphabetical order or how
Yes,
these
yes.
are coming?
Alphabetical. This
Okay,
is
ma'am.
purely alphabetical, yes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so we have done the second most important part, and that is called as the review of literature. So now the third part, the third important part over here is research methodology. Right. So research methodology में यहाँ पर when you are writing now about a paper, so you have to go in depth about the research methodology. You have to write who all are your respondents. यहाँ पर sample size, sample area, techniques, है ना? तो all these become a part of your, और ये in depth होता है. It is not a very brief. यहाँ पर आपको in depth देना होता है. You have to give a in depth about this, right? तो यहाँ पर आप जैसे लेट मी शो यू ओवर हियर, काफी इन डेप्थ होता है आपका ये, ठीक है? तो इट डिपेंड्स कि बस आपको ही इन डेप्थ देना है, राइट? तो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट इट। नेक्स्ट इज, अच्छा हाँ, एक इंपॉर्टेंट चीज मैं आपको जरूर बताना चाहूंगी ओवर हियर, लेट मी शो यू दिस। हाँ ओके, ये रहा। ओके हम्म एक मिनट, The population was specified almost 11 items under the, okay. Just have a look at this. This is items under the construct. So this is from where we have taken our variables. Look at this. This is sense of scarcity, panic buying behavior. ये variables हैं, right? तो हमने कहाँ से लिए हैं? Please look at this. SOS, sense of scarcity, has 6 items. और ये हमने किसकी statements लिए इन बंदों की. ये एक mention करना बहुत जरूरी होता है in your research methodology. This is very, 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 very important. SOU, sense of uncertainty, has 6 items like this. And किसके आपने scales उठाए ये? PBB, next. कौन सा उठाया ये? Can you see to this? And this is all on a 5-point Likert scale. Got it? And इसके बाद yesterday I told you कि like यहाँ पे EFA आपको run करना होता है. Look at this. So these are the statement for this variable called as sense of scarcity. ये एक variable है हमारे model का. This is one variable. Like let me show you this. ये हमारा एक वेरिएबल है सेंस ऑफ स्कैर्सिटी. मतलब ये जो आप वेरिएबल्स, these variables that you are taking, they all have a statements. They all have some statements. So let me show you this. Like ये मेरा सेंस ऑफ स्कैर्सिटी एक वेरिएबल है. इसकी ये स्टेटमेंट्स हैं जो मैंने रिस्पोंडेंट से फिल कराई हैं, राइट? तो दिस हैज बीन फिल्ड बाय द रिस्पोंडेंट्स और उनके जो रिस्पॉन्सेज आए हैं उसमें मैंने EFA लगाया, एक्सप्लोरेटरी फैक्टर एनालिसिस, फिर कंफर्मेटरी फैक्टर एनालिसिस और फिर सेम, राइट? तो सबसे फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या होता है? EFA लगाना, दैट इज एक्सप्लोरेटरी फैक्टर एनालिसिस. सो दिस इज अ टूल टू सी दैट ऑल द स्टेटमेंट्स दैट वी हैव टेकन fits into our variable or not. Are you all getting me at this? ये सबको समझ में आ रही है चीज? Are you able to understand? Please raise your hands. Okay. So this is what is important, right? And so next is the data analysis part, right? So this is the research methodology part. After the research methodology part, then comes the data analysis and interpretation. यहाँ पर you apply the certain tools and techniques. You apply tools and techniques and give your results over here. So this is all depends on जो भी आपने आपका data है. If you have applied PLSM software, so you will be writing whatever the tables and all that has come. So you will be writing about those things. That will go into your data analysis and interpretation part. So the next part is the discussion part. ये हर किसी का अपना रहता है, right? So this part we won't be able to do it like because ये तो बहुत ही elaborated तरीके से होता है और जिसका जैसे होता है वो मतलब जो भी टूल्स एंड टेक्निक्स आपने लगाए हैं वो उस मेथड पे आपका आता है, राइट? जैसे इसमें PLSM लगाया है तो दिस पर्सन तो इस तरह से ही हैज डन इट, मॉडरेशन एंड ऑल दैट. सो उसी के डायग्राम्स एंड टेबल्स बने हैं, राइट? तो नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट होता है डिस्कशन. Okay, so what do we write in discussion? This is another important part of a paper. So what do we write in discussion is data analysis में you have elaborated the results. Data analysis part में we elaborate the results, but in discussion we give a brief overview. We give a brief overview of the results and compare it with previous studies. ये प्लीज ध्यान से 1 मिनट देख लें क्या मतलब है इसका. So let me take you to my paper. जैसे let me take you, यहाँ पर एक Okay. Our findings suggested no panic buying. Another significant finding was positive post-pandemic buying intention among the Saudi millennials. I want you to read this, please. यहाँ से 1 मिनट पढ़े जरा. इसमें ओके आई थिंक अगर नहीं भी आपको पढ़ना इट्स ओके सो लेट मी टेल यू हाउ डू यू राइट अबाउट दिस सो लेट्स से वन ऑफ आवर मैं बता देती हूँ इसमें 1 मिनट सो लेट्स से this was our first hypothesis, right? So copy this hypothesis and write in the discussion part. What I'm trying to tell you here is about the discussion part, right? So discussion में let's say this is our first hypothesis, right? So let's say this has come out to be true. So the first यहाँ पे आप लिखोगे कैसे? So what I'm trying to tell you, how do we write the discussion part? So let's say ये जो हमारे रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर में हमने हाइपोथेसिस डेवलपमेंट किया है, ठीक है, तो वो हमने कहाँ प्रूफ किया है? डेटा एनालिसिस में ना. ये जो आपने हाइपोथेसिस लिखा था इसको प्रूफ कहाँ पे किया है? सेंस ऑफ स्कैर्सिटी हैज अ पॉजिटिव इंपैक्ट ऑन पैनिक बाइंग बिहेवियर. तो हमने ये एक हाइपोथेसिस लिखा है जो कि हमने प्रूफ कहाँ किया है? डेटा एनालिसिस पार्ट में. नाउ अब हम डिस्कशन में क्या बताते हैं? हाँ जी.
Please, can you tell me in English?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I
So
couldn't
what
follow.
I'm okay. What we have written over here is this is our first hypothesis, that is sense of scarcity has a positive impact on panic buying behavior. So where do we prove it? We proved in the section data analysis and interpretation, right? So whether it has come out to be true or it has come out to be false, right? So we will be writing about this first hypothesis in discussion now. So we will say the first hypothesis is sense of scarcity has a positive impact on panic buying behavior. Let's say it has come out to, which has come out to be true. So let's say we write like this. In the data analysis part, let's say this first hypothesis has come out to be true. True means that sense of scarcity is impacting the panic buying behavior. So this has come out to be true. Now, the previous studies also says the same thing. और यहाँ पर you have to give the in-text citation. Let's say Aggarwal et al. 2024. Is this clear? Then what I'm trying to tell you here is, यहाँ पर what we are going to do is we are going to give a brief overview of our data analysis part. So all the hypotheses that we have set in the review of literature part, so we'll move to the, next you will write moving to the second hypothesis. It says whatever it is, right? फिर H2 and it which is true again. So the previous studies or also says, matlab you can change the lines, you can make some more story about it. So this is what you write into the discussion part. I hope it is clear to all. Please raise your hands if it is clear.
So, ma'am, in discussions, we need to state each and every result of the
Yes.
objective.
Yes.
All the
Yes.
results of the objective.
All the hypotheses, yes.
All the hypotheses.
Data analysis, yes. Data analysis part me, you have proven it to be true or false. And you have given tables and all that. But in discussion, you are giving a brief overview or brief summary of your data analysis part. So all the hypotheses you have to talk about over here. A brief overview and what the previous authors have said, whether it matches with it or it does not matches with it. This is how the people, they write the papers, you know. And this paper of mine that got published in A category journal, this year only it got published, and ABDC A category, and that is SCI and Q1 as well. So it's a very good journal, you know. So I learned this from one of my colleagues, that how to write the papers like this. So anyways, so the next important part part is of the study is the implications. Please understand the next important part is the implication of the study, right? So what do we write into the implications of the study now? This is also very important, theoretical implications and the practical implications. Theoretical implication, which theory is more dominating or which theory is impacting this topic? Which theory is impacting this topic? Or which theory is related to this topic? So you have to again mention a brief overview of here. And practical implication is who all is going to benefit from this paper. Like, let's say paper is on impact investing, government to make policy changes, taxation may benefit, the government can give. So like this, practical implication is means who is going, this study is going to help to which segment of the people of the society. So that comes into the practical implications, right? So any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Like in discussion, you said that we have to write the result of the hypothesis, isn't it, ma'am? Whatever
Yes,
results
yes.
we have got
Yes,
in the
yes.
data analysis. Okay. Suppose, ma'am, I'm getting the results. Do I need to give the reason also why I'm getting this result? The
No,
reason
no,
behind
this is
it.
no. You can write 2-3 lines. If you are able to write it, then it's okay. If you are not able to write it, then even it's okay. But you have to compare it with the previous studies. Like you have to tell what the previous studies talk about this hypothesis previously, and whether your results match with them or does not match with them. So that is what is important. Preeta ji, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
You are muted. Okay. So next is the implication part. Now, the next important part is the future scope. So like what all studies can be done in the future. So this is what, and in the last is the conclusion. So this is all about how to write a paper. Now, so let's get back to your thesis now. So this is how you write all the, let's say, so you have, let's say 4 objectives. So you write 4 papers, right? And let me take you to this. This is the, now you have to compile your thesis. How do you do that? Let me tell you this. Okay, let me, okay. So what do we do in our organization? First, introduction. How do I tell the students to write the introduction? So what we normally do is, let me highlight this. Thesis introduction for this thesis now. So all the papers, all the objective, 4 objective introduction, you write it here. Mix and match and you write it here. All the introduction of all the 4 papers, 4 papers. You write it here in the introduction part. Same with the review of literature. Even if you want to write objective 1, objective 2, objective 3, that also you can do that. But you also have to see what is the rules and regulation in your organization, right? Whether do they permit this to you or they do not permit. If they permit, then you can write the objective 1, objective 2, you can write it here as objective 1 review of literature, objective 2 and objective 3, right? And like this. And then come the research methodology. What I normally tell my students is there is some common research methodology for all the objective. Common research methodology, you write it 1 paragraph, then you can write, if you have different objective, if you have used different research methodology for objective 1, then you can mention it over here. And if you have different research methodology, this is the third part. So if you have a common research methodology, let me repeat this again. If you have 3 or 4 objectives and if you have common research methodology, you write it down, right? And but if you have certain points of differentiation, so you can mention objective 1 and you can write out what are the difference here. Objective 2, what is the difference point? So next is the data analysis. Data analysis mein to very clear. You have to be very, very clear, because objective 1, whatever, let's say, let me show you this, my paper. So let's say this is the data analysis part of my this paper, right? So yahan se it starts from here. It starts from here. So it is very, very clear. Like, let's say this is one objective of my thesis. So what you will do, data analysis, objective 1. So you will be, yahan se yahan tak you will copy this entirely before discussion. You will be copying this and you will be putting under the heading objective 1, yahan par data analysis. Pura, you will copy it and put it here. Second, objective 2. So you will, whatever your paper is, you will write it here. 3, 4, like this. Next, fifth part here is your discussion part. Isko bhi, what you have to do is, it has to be separate, because you have a different objectives, and you will have a different discussion part as well for all the objectives. So what is required from your side is, so you have to mention objective 2 and write the line of the objective. When I'm talking about objective 2, please mention what is the objective 2 over here, and then copy the discussion part of the paper and put it here. Similarly for objective 3, 4, and so on. So next is important implications. Even implications you can write together, or if you want to write it separately, you can do that as well. Then to conclusion or implications, you can write it separately or together, or future scope, you can write it jointly, and conclusion also you write it jointly, right? So in the last, there is a references. References are not numbered, are not sorry, no, numbered nahi. References mein, when you write the references, you do not give the numbering to it. Numbering means yahan pe you will not write 8 point to it. It is just like this, references. And in the last comes your appendix. Appendix mein you can put appendix, and you have to put your questionnaire over here. And whatever you want to put, so you can put it here, right? And in the initial, in our organization, we do have the abstract as well on the top of it. So this is how we write the thesis. I hope it is clear to all. Any questions, any queries, please let me know.
Ma'am, actually, I have one question. My question is like, regarding data or information. If I collect those information from any YouTube videos or like newspaper, I just want to know whether they have some weight in the research or not.
Yes, you can obviously write, but YouTube videos though, no, I don't think so. YouTube videos I have never quoted in my papers. But yes, newspaper article is another, like the websites. I've already told you that, but YouTube video I have never quoted in my this thing.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Any question?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, in
Yes.
case of secondary data, if suppose I am taking some GDP data or some inflation data, I'm putting that in the introduction part. Suppose it is related to my objective, then in that case, can I code that it is has been taken from the RBI data or?
Yes, you have to. There is no other option. वो तो करना ही है. You have to do it.
Yes, ma'am, that is there. But do I need to quote the way you have quoted, like in date wise, something like that?
Date wise, I'm not able to understand.
You have quoted what? Yeah, you have quoted in text data, no, ma'am, right now.
Index citations.
Yeah, index citations. So in that you have written that it has been taken from this particular site on this particular date, like that you have
Yes,
mentioned over
access.
there.
That is a references. That is a reference.
Yes. So in that case also that need to be done.
Yes. References has to be there. If you are putting any in-text citation, it should have a reference.
Okay.
Are you able to understand? Nahi. Okay, let me.
Yes, ma'am,
let-
I have understood. Like in case of RBI data, suppose I've taken data from the RBI database. So should
you
I mention that in the this one reference? I need to mention that in the references as well. So do I need to mention the date also when I have taken that data?
Yes, accessed
Okay,
on,
the
because
date.
sometimes what happens is when you access that same data at a later time, it is not available sometimes. So when you mention the date, then you are very sure that you have accessed it on this date and that time it was available. Now it might not be available, but at that time it was available. So that is the reason that we mention accessed on date.
Okay, ma'am.
Anything else?
Ma'am, would you please say something about the abstract writing? What all things to be included in that?
Abstract. When we write abstract, it is the whole summary of your thesis. Now, like you will be giving all the objectives, introduction about the topic, introduction about the topic. This will be in continuation. Then all the objectives, uh and the research methodology used in brief. This has to be in brief. And what are the findings, main findings of your study? So this is, and you make a paragraph of this. It becomes your abstract thesis, abstract of your thesis. This whole, normally a thesis is a very bigger thing. Let me show you one thesis of my student. Let me show you the thesis of Prerna only. So it is of how many pages we need to check. 217 pages, right? So let me show you this. This is the thesis of one of my students. The initial pages. Just have a look at this. This is Roman numbers, right? Initial जो pages हैं. Content. Okay. So this is also very, very important. So you have to have a content page. Just have a look at this. List of figures is also made. Yes. List of tables. List of abbreviations. We do have a list of publications, list of papers presented. So this is, you can see these are the Roman numbers, and from where our thesis start is from one page is the introduction. Yes, look at this. So everything has to be mentioned. Look at this. Study 1, she has mentioned. This is review of literature part. So what she has done is, this is study 1. This is study 2, study 3, study 4. Can you see to this? Data analysis में, look at this, study 1. This is study 2. Actually, this is she has done one extra thing into her thesis. So she has written content analysis. And study 2, for study 3 results, study 4. Let me show you this. So it will give you a more idea about it. So look at this, यहाँ पर tables, figures, on which page number, the headings of the figures, and this is the page number, headings of the figures and the page number. So let me show you, same for the tables. Throughout the thesis, whatever page number has a table, so the name of the table and the page number. So this is also, you have to mention it. Abbreviations that she has used into this also has to be mentioned, right? List of publications. So this is what she has done. यहाँ से introduction. Let me show you the review of literature. Look at this. This is her thesis, right? Let me help this student of mine put a thesis on the this thing, Shodh Ganga pe. Okay, you can if you want to have a good you want to see the compiled thesis, so what you can do is you go to a Shodh Ganga. Shodh Ganga is a very good website. वहाँ पर you can always see the number of the thesis, right? वहाँ पर the students, they normally put their thesis over there. Look at this. This is a research methodology, data analysis technique for objective 1. Can you see to this? अलग से she has mentioned it. This is a research methodology part for objective 1. This is for 2 and 4, maybe similar. Can you see to this? Are you able to see it? Suppose, are you able to understand all this? So ये data, उसके बाद just have a look at this. ये data analysis and interpretation, right? So, what I wanted to show you here is like, let me show you this. Demographic, this is common for everyone, so this is not included into this. Now, just have, इतना क्यों हो रहा है? एक minute. Look at this data analysis technique and construct for object. नहीं, एक minute, let me show you. ये रहा. Objective 1, systematic literature review of previous study. So this is our first objective. So यहाँ से it is starting and she has clearly mentioned over here objective 1. ये objective 1 है ये सारा. This whole is objective 1. And just look at this. This has tables and figures, right? तो ये जो भी tables and figures हैं, let's see, this is a figure, है ना? So this page number is 108. So it will be mentioned in the starting list of figures में. So if we start with the second objective, so she has mentioned it objective 2. ये तो objective 1 ही चल रहा है. It's a very long topic. So like this. I hope now the objective 3. Can you see to this? So similarly, it goes on like this. I hope it is clear to all. सबको clear हुआ है ये अच्छे से? Any questions, any queries? Any questions, any queries?
मैम, जो लिटरेचर रिव्यू हम अलग अलग पेपर्स में लिखेंगे तो उसी को कंबाइन करके हम अपनी थीसिस में दे देंगे, तो उसमें वर्डिंग वही यूज करेंगे या फिर उसको भी चेंज करनी पड़ेगी?
ये आपके कॉलेज पे डिपेंड करता है. लाइक हमारा कॉलेज अलाउ करता है ऐसे,
मतलब सेम वर्डिंग यूज करो तो वो फ्लैग में नहीं आएगा मैम?
आने दो, क्योंकि ये तो थीसिस है ना आपका, वो तो आएगा ही फिर.
ओके मैम, ओके ओके.
पेपर तो पब्लिश होंगे ही ना. हाँ जी, एनीथिंग एल्स?
Yeah, ma'am, hi, Mukund here. 2-3 things. One, you said that we have to write the papers as per the number of objectives. So if I have 5 objective in my synopsis already approved, so I have to start thinking on writing 5 papers which could be published. So when I say 5 means I will write 5 paper. Out of 5, there could be I think 2 is the mandatory to publish, right, for the PhD.
ये आपके कॉलेज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बताएगा कितने मैंडेटरी हैं. डिपेंड्स फ्रॉम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन टू ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. Like we at Chandigarh University, we have 3 papers that is mandatory.
Okay, but as what I have learned is that you are saying out of the objectives only the papers can be written
You have to make
on those
you
topics.
have to make the yes, you have to make the papers, you know.
Okay, that's what it will be in line with the whole title of the thesis. What we okay.
Yes.
And second thing now, I mean, you have really helped us to understand well on this overall, because since I have studied after almost a year, so lots of clarity has came. Okay, now my challenge is that to begin and leveraging these skills what you have helped us to learn. Bigger question is that the model development, what you said, how to
Yes,
develop
yes,
that model, because that is something you said that is very, very critical in the beginning.
yes.
Uh,
That is a little technical. थोड़ा सा आप इसको पढ़ेंगे तो आपको समझ भी आ जाएगा इजीली. मतलब थोड़ा टाइम लगता है. इट इज अ टाइम टेकिंग प्रोसेस, बट हो जाता है. यस. आप ओके. सो वेयर आर यू एनरोल, मुकुंद जी?
I am at Susant University, Gurgaon. I am in Gurgaon.
Okay.
Actually, I am working professional. I'm not into I'm into the corporate industry world actually.
अच्छा, okay.
So my topic is linked with the technology and sustainability, where I am trying to think how to make an intersection and improve the supply chain and procurement performance for the FMCG
Okay.
packaging industry. So that kind of
Okay.
topic.
Okay.
So I really need to do a little bit more homework because I'm not able to spend much time on this subject. It was useful, I would say. Thank you so much for the guidance.
You're welcome.
Maybe. And so that's the only thing I wanted to ask. And then paper writing is something we have to begin. That's what I am also thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, madam. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Welcome. Anything else? Anybody else? I hope it is clear to all now, or it is
Ma'am,
informative. Hanji.
Sorry, will you be able to share this Word document, what you were preparing along with this presentation?
Which one? This one you had
The
said?
Word document you were writing
Ye
now?
wala?
Yeah, this one. Maybe you can just save and share that so that
Sure, I can
we
do that.
have some kind of reference while doing something.
Okay,
And
let me share it
and
with
one of your paper, what you said that got published. I think some other ma'am has also requested same thing.
मैं अभी कर देती हूँ. I'll do it right now, right away. To bhola not, sir. I'll do it.
Okay.
Anything else? Even I can send the synopsis also of my student, क्योंकि that is being published now. तो वो मैं कर सकती हूँ. I'll do it. Trademark and synopsis, I can do that. Because उसके papers भी publish हो चुके हैं. Yes. I'll do it. Anything else?
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask you, whatever we are writing, that need to be supported by this one, so ma'am, references, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes.
Whatever you.
बिल्कुल.
Okay.
It has to be. Anything else? तो ठीक है, I think. Thank you all. And I hope you have understood a lot, much. Okay.
Hello, ma'am.